G'day guys, welcome to Scotch Down Under. He's Kibble.
That's Scott.
And today we're going to do a whiskey, but he's hugging it.
Yeah, it's mine.
We've already got it in
It
our
is now.
glasses, it's okay.
I didn't pay
That's
for
true.
it.
That's true.
But, you know, I've got it now.
Okay.
I suppose you can... I'll just do that.
We're going to do the Linkwood 12-year-old from the Flora and Fauna collection.
Ooh. It's been a while since we did a Flora and Fauna.
Well, our first ever episode was the Del Ewan Flora and Fauna.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I can definitely remember what that tasted like.
It was only a year ago. Ish. So, you guys know anything about this lovely little dream?
Not a thing. We have notes, but I haven't read them.
Okay. Well, you should remember something about the green label.
It's in it?
Yeah. So Linkwood is one of those whiskies that goes into pretty much all the Johnny Walkers and a bunch of other like White Horse and a bunch of other blends, because this is the one that makes a shitty whiskey a good whiskey.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not used as the base, it's the kicker-upper.
It's owned by Diageo. then.
It should be a good whiskey then.
Yes.
Hang on, I'll tell you.
So it's Diageo, so it's going to be coloured and filtered, but it's 43%, and this is the 12-year-old that they brought out for the Flora and Fauna back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And other than this one, there's only one other bottle.
Yep.
It came out in 2016, which is a 37-year-old whiskey.
Ooh.
And bottled in, or distilled in 78, and it's 50.3 ABV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, part of their special releases. Those fancy Diageo bottles that they bring out. Yeah.
I want some.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. This is next to Elgin, just the south of Elgin, and Elgin is the big town in Speyside.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And with all the distilleries that are in Speyside, you would think that there'd be a few around Elgin, but nope. It has got this one down the southern outskirts, and then you've got Glenmoray smack bang in the middle, and that's it. In 1821, a Mr. Peter Brown, who owned the Linkwood estate, just south of Elgin, he decided he had all this land, and he thought, well, this is not much good for anything, so I'm going to plant some grain on it, I'm going to make some whiskey, and then that grain that's used over from the whiskey, I'm going to feed my cattle.
Priorities. Whiskey first.
Yep, exactly.
Livestock second.
Yep, that's right. So he decided to do that, but at that time, it was kind of illegal to do whiskey, so he was a good boy and decided to wait till the 1823 excise tax.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, then that the records say. So officially he started in 1824.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was probably practicing for a few years.
Yeah, because if you're doing something illegally, it's best not to write it down.
Exactly. Just make it for yourself and just let your friends come over. And then he passed away in 1868, and his son inherited the distillery. And he decided that he was going to be a real hands-on, because Peter didn't really do much with the distillery. He just made it happen. So William was like, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my hands dirty. So he decided to knock the whole place down and rebuild it. At 72.
Start
There's
fresh.
not much more getting down and dirty than just rebuilding it.
Yeah, exactly. Just knock the whole place down.
I don't like that wind. It's coming out.
Yeah. And then Linkwood Glenlivet Distillery Company, so back in the days when everything was named Glenlivet, they were formed by the Brown family, and in 1898, after William passed, they pretty much took over, and around the same time they floated the distillery on the stock market, which gave them a heap of capital, so they expanded and did some more stuff. And then in 1902, legendary whiskey broker, distiller owner, and generally high-profile whiskey personality, Robert Innes Cameron, joined the board, soon became majority shareholder, managing director, and he held the position until 1932. And just around that same time, Diageo, or the pre-formed company before Diageo, pretty much bought everything up. And these guys held out for about 8 years. But they sold out to Diageo. But his successful management of Linkwood made it hot property, and was quickly snapped up by the Scott Malt distilleries and 33, which became Diageo.
Yeah.
And then during the war,
No, don't mention the war.
well, between 1941 and 1945, they kind of didn't do too much.
They closed down.
They closed down.
For some bizarre reason.
They took a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went on an extended holiday through Europe.
Nice. I like that. Then after that extended holiday, in 62, they decided, okay, let's do a refurb. Yep.
Well, the next question is, when was the fire?
There wasn't one that I know of.
Another place to visit.
And then in 71, they decided to make another distillery pretty much, and they put a couple of stills in, and they called that Linkwood B.
Very original.
Yeah. So then they had 4 stills in there that were in a separate building, and then they called that Linkwood B. And then Linkwood A was still working at the same time with a couple of the stills, so it was kind of weird having Linkwood A and then Linkwood B. And then 85, Linkwood A with the original stills closes, but Diageo continued to use it for experimentation on reflux, copper influence, and a bunch of other stuff. And they were still doing a little bit of spirit for the Linkwood distillery together. And then eventually they went in 96, let's close Linkwood A down. And then 2011, 2013, they decided to do another expansion and upgrades. And they knocked half of the old 1800 buildings down. Except for the number 6 warehouse and the old pagoda roofed kiln house, which never would be used, but you got to have the iconic pagoda roof, so they kept that one there.
It comes in a box.
It comes in a box.
The box is made of cardboard.
Yep, and
It says Linkwood on the front.
with a nice old-fashioned thing, and around the other side there is like nada, absolutely nada. So it's got the typical Flora and Fauna box thing, and then on the bottle, as you would expect,
The box itself is just glass.
it is. Bottle's pretty much the same, typical Flora and Fauna. So on this one, it's got like a couple of swan geesey looking things. Yep.
No, they're not ducks.
Nope.
Why not?
I don't know. They don't look like ducks to me. They look like
No, they got long necks. This one's.
yeah, they're swanny things. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Don't need that.
Nope. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. So these guys actually do a really long fermentation, up to 105 hours on their fermentation.
Right.
They got 6 stills, 11 washbacks, and those are big ass stills that they got too.
Floral sweet.
Yeah, lovely floral. But a fresh floral as well.
There's something that's kicking me in the teeth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel it's a lot of the lower ABV stuff that I pick up ABV a lot harder now. I'm getting old.
It's been me for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, it doesn't worry me.
But that's just floral sweetness.
Yeah.
There's like fresh.
Not really honey, but more sort of fruity sweet.
Yeah. Like
But hard to pin it down.
Yeah, I was trying to pick on the
I'm getting
sweetness.
like fresh pears.
Pears, yeah. Yeah. Pears. Apricot sweetness. Yeah.
Apricot, maybe even
Yeah.
a bit of peach.
Because I'm thinking
Yeah.
like pear and apple juice, like freshly squeezed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice and fresh and inviting, and you can understand just on the nose why they would stick this in a dram. It's really going to bring something up, vibrant. And...
Yeah, especially when it tastes like nothing.
yeah. Well, now that we've sniffed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I kind of want to keep sniffing it, but I kind of don't.
Just drink it. Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good, eh? I like it.
Straight away on the tip of the tongue, it's just that fruit sweet.
I'm getting like a tiny bit of like still the pears and stuff, but there's like a tiny bit of rock melon as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a tiny bit of melony on it.
That kind of melon sweetness.
Yep, melons and still the stone fruit.
It's just a fruit salad in a glass
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
with some edible flowers on top.
Sprinkled on top for garnish.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is done just in American oak. So it's just refilled casks.
It's got a nice little bit of warmth, but I'm going to say soft.
Yeah.
I don't want to say smooth. I feel smooth is overused when it comes
It is
to
a
whiskey.
tiny bit harsh. I wouldn't call it smooth, but yeah, that soft heat, that does make sense.
There's that little bit of sort of peppery harshness
Yeah.
is more on the back end of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's not offensive, unlike that.
Yeah.
That's bloody pleasant though.
It is.
Nice, yeah.
But I agree, there is a little bit of that. I wouldn't say it's a strong pepper, but just a little bit of a warming sensation at the back of the throat. Yeah. It's not on the front or the tip, although you get that lovely pepper on some whiskies. It's just, yeah.
Tip of my tongue is tingling ever so nicely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, this is actually not bad. Let's see if we can...
Open it up a little bit with a bit of water.
Yeah.
Did you want to bring in your water?
Yeah, bring in some water.
Water.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just soft. Shall we just go with like summer fruit sweetness?
Yeah.
Yeah, fruits up.
Yeah. I genuinely don't know why I'm yawning so much. Like, I'm perfectly fine until we sat down and then my body's like, sleep time.
I've got whiskey, I'm happy place.
Oh, just drop the ABV now. It's got the bite on the nose for me.
The what nose?
Bite on the nose.
Bite on the nose.
Yeah. That wasn't me.
I get past that.
I find it's got more...
It's become more floral than sweet on the nose.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But a little bit more grassy kind of note as
Yeah.
well.
See, I kind of picked up the small essence of wet dog.
I was kind of thinking like a slight Dunnage warehouse wet cardboard kind of thing as well, but
It's a very subtle.
very subtle.
It's a wet dog on the other side of the room,
Yeah, with some that lovely tropical fruit drizzle over it.
and you know, some fresh cut flowers on the table in front.
The wet dog has gone and found some fruit salad.
The wet dog
and
is
it's been-
rolling in the fruit
flower.
salad.
Yeah, that's the one.
and flowers.
And flowers.
Yes, been out in the paddock all day, rained on, was rolling on the grass. Came
Yeah.
in and jumped in the fruit salad.
So this is definitely in an orchard, and the dog's running around in an orchard. Yep.
Rolling on
It seems to have kicked that warmth up.
On the palate.
Mm.
Okay.
And it has become more peppery in the aftertaste for me.
Yeah. No, there is a little bit. It is.
Yeah, it's
harsh.
way up in the roof now, the back of the roof of the palate.
Yeah.
Yep. But it fades off quite nicely, and then you get that lovely tropical sweet.
I don't think there's much to it, but it is quite tasty.
Yeah.
Like what you pick up right at the front is everything.
Yep.
I think there's not much to explore on this one, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I like it.
I still think there's stuff to explore with all those fruits, trying to find out what they are, kind of dive in. But I get what you mean. There's not a huge amount of complexity. You're not getting different waves of sensations and tastes coming through.
We have been trying some exceptional stuff lately, so
Yeah, it's just kind of, there it is, deal with it.
Yeah. Which makes sense when you want to put it in a blend. So, how much are you going to pay for a bottle of the Linkwood Flora and Fauna?
Well, Flora and Fauna edition usually increases the price a little bit, but I wouldn't pay more than like 110 for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's face it, it is Flora and Fauna.
It's gonna be more, yeah.
It's probably, I'm going to take a stab and say that its actual price is sort of 160, 180.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll split that in half. It's around 130, 150.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, depending on where you're going to
It's
find it.
not too bad, but
Yeah, I wouldn't
having tried it, yeah, I probably wouldn't pay that.
Yeah.
I actually like it. I mean, I like that.
Don't get me
fruit
wrong,
salad.
it's pleasant
Yeah.
and enjoyable, but
Like we said in our last episode,
I think
your
that's
taste buds are wrong and you should feel bad.
I just think that's a little overpriced, but you know,
Yeah,
that's Diageo
it
too,
is
isn't
a
it?
pleasant dram, and like if you're happy to pay that money, then you probably will enjoy it. But I'm not happy to pay that.
Yeah. I was really happy to get it because I wanted to explore this because I knew it was in the Green Label and a lot of other blends.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see that characteristic in its purest form. So I'm happy about that. And it's easy to pick that kind of stuff out of something that's...
Let's be honest, if...
Do we have everything here for Green
this... Well, no, we don't. Because Green Label is labelled as a 15-year-old blend, which means the youngest whiskey they use is 15. So it's not actually this, it's a more aged version.
So we've got the base models, but we haven't got the...
So we could actually attempt
to
recreate our own Green Label,
Yeah.
but it would be lacking a little age.
Yeah, so it'd be a 12-year-old.
We have a barrel.
We do, but that's port finished, so...
Port finished Green Label.
Ooh, let me rub my nipple.
Where did we get 5 litres of the elements to make that?
Expensively.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a bloody expensive bottle of Green Label.
Yeah.
Alright, so give it a rating.
I'm not overly impressed, but I'm not turned away by it, so I'd probably say like an 8.8.
So I was just going to go for a straight 8 because it doesn't seem like doing the water really didn't do much. There's not much depth to it. It, like I said before, it's just there it is. That's it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still quite a pleasant dram. But yeah, so and that sort of, you know, like we both said, you'd probably happily pay maybe 110, 120, but because it's a little more.
So
yeah, 8 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to give it a 9. I'm not even going to get a second bottle.
Let's just go 8.5. Split it in the middle.
Okay.
Yep. So there you go. If you like fruit salad.
Yummy,
Yummy.
yummy.
On that note.
Have a good one. Expensive, unlike that.
Yeah.
Fucking yawning.
Yawning.
Hey, I fight that urge every time you talk.
I'll wear it.